It's the home stretch of the 2026 USL2 season, and it's a 2v4 clash between the visiting Snohomish United and West Seattle Junction FC. It's two teams fighting for two different goals. Snohomish, they have their sights set on the division title, with Ballard sitting just 3 points ahead, and Snohomish has a game in hand on West Seattle on the other hand. It's a chance to finish the season on a positive note and achieve their best finish in club history. Welcome into the broadcast booth. I am Owen Camaros, joined alongside Oscar Lopez. Oscar, Seattle, West Seattle, they're a bit shorthanded today.
Yeah, no Alex Mejia, no Sean Brune, no Osato Inabulele, to name the main ones. Now, these are changes that West Seattle have dealt with previously this season. Alex Mejia has missed games, and Mike Mata's side have had to adapt. You know, Mejia, he's got a very clear play style that nobody else in the squad can really replicate. So what I imagine West Seattle will do, they'll send the ball in the air to their center forward a bit less. They'll try to play it more on the ground and take advantage of the speed of players like Taisei Iida and Marcus Bravo. In the case of Sean Brune, he was missing in West Seattle's last game against Olympia when they came out ahead 5-2. Teague McCammon started at center back in that game, but for this one, West Seattle call back a very familiar name in Jack McGuire.
It's a very familiar name indeed. McGuire, who played with West Seattle the first two seasons while he was still finishing up his college career at the University of Washington. He captained the Junction for a year and a half or so, and decided to retire after the 2025 season, decided that he wanted to try his hand at the professional life. He's still there. But with West Seattle shorthanded, Mike Mata made a phone call, and Jack McGuire will return once again wearing that marquee number 5 kit that he dazzled in. I think one of the last times we saw him here, it was against the Snohomish United team, where he scored from about 35 yards out on the half volley to beat his former University of Washington teammate in Jaden Bowden. You remember that call very well, went viral on social media.
Well, mainly because of the goal. It was a very good finish from McGuire, and actually another good goal that day came from Richie Contes.
And they'll both be out here today, and the two of them playing along the back line are going to have to go up against the USL2 Player of the Month for the month of June, and Aaron Leon will be up top for Snohomish.
Yeah, 10 goals in 5 games in June, 11 in 6 overall this season for Snohomish. And what a welcome back present for Jack McGuire. He gets one of the assignments of the year that anybody has had to face in a West Seattle shirt in that back line. I'm sure he and O'Keefe will have their ducks in a row as far as what they want to do, but, you know, a player like Leon, just so deadly when you get him in that final third, especially around the 18-yard box. Just one of those that has a real nose for it, and O'Keefe and McGuire will have to be switched on 100% for all 90 minutes.
And let's take a look at that start at 11 here, built by the Home Depot. West Seattle, who are going to have to go up against a Snohomish team that still has something to play for. We mentioned they are still fighting for that top of the table, and they're going to line up like this. It'll be Jackson Osborne in goal. We have seen him here a number of different times. You remember that miraculous save he made to deny Rico De La Rosa back in 2024 when he was still playing with FC Olympia, and then made the switch over to Snohomish prior to the 2025 season. Zach Meyer, the University of Washington center back, will be alongside Carter Gay. Jack Sivitz, another player that West Seattle has seen far too much of here at Nino Cantu. He has 2 goals on this field in his USL2 career. He'll be a right back alongside Sebastian Renhill, a recent pickup for the visitors. He was playing for Midlakes up until about a game ago and decided with Midlakes well and truly out of playoff contention, he was going to switch over to Snohomish to play a little bit of playoff USL2 soccer. Connor Laffey and Beckham Uteritz will make up the midfield. Edgar Leon, the older brother of Aaron Leon, will be at the 10 with Clarence Dolan and Cooper Brunell alongside him to the left and right. And then up top, we mentioned it already, it's Aaron Leon. And who's going to be defending Aaron Leon? Well, let's take a look at the West Seattle starting 11. It'll be Lucas Martin in goal with Connor O'Keefe and Jack McGuire. Those two dazzled together through the 5 games that they played at center back together in 2025. Jack's only had 1 practice, though, with the Junction, so it'll be interesting to see how connected he's going to be with his center back partner. Richie Conces, Jack Hagley will be on the left and right. Teague McCammon, Kirabel Yurga, Keegan Chapko make up the midfield. Marcus Bravo, Derek Johnson, and the leading goal scorer for the Junction with 5 goals, Taisei Aida, make up the front three. We're going to step aside for a moment for the national anthem. You're watching West Seattle.
Fans, please remain standing if you are able for the national anthem.
National anthem has been sung, teams are shaking hands, and we are right back out here for another match here in Nino Cantu on a beautiful Friday summer evening in West Seattle. Snohomish on 31 points, chasing Ballard, who's on 34. Ballard has the advantage in the goal differential by 5, plus 28 to plus 23, but Snohomish does have a game in hand, so not only would a win here at West Seattle be huge, a win and a couple of goals in favor of Snohomish, as many as possible, would be huge in their quest to win their first ever USL 2 Northwest Division and stop Ballard from winning their 4th in a row. On the flip side for West Seattle, they're on 14 points through 12 matches played. Their best ever finish is 17 points. That was back in their first ever season when they finished 5th. Well, they can finish as high as 4th, as low as 6th in this 8-team league this season. But a win and a draw would get them to 18 points in a new best season. And that's what they'll be looking for here in the first year under head coach Mike Mata.
Yeah, and on your point about Snohomish looking for goals, they will feel like that is something that is very, very much in their power to accomplish. West Seattle have conceded 9 goals in their last 4 games. They have, of course, also scored 11. So 20 goals in their last 4 games, including, of course, goals for and goals against for West Seattle. I imagine this one may not be very different. Snohomish have a very potent attack, and so do the West Seattle Junction. We saw, obviously, we know about Taisei Ida, the goals and the opportunities that he provides, but I thought that Marcus Bravo had the best game I've ever seen him play in a Junction shirt against Olympia. He essentially looked like another Taisei Ida. He was flying all over the pitch. The defenders couldn't hang with him. He's starting for the Junction, as is Derek Johnson, who came off of the bench and scored against Olympia. He looked very good when he came on, also got an assist.
Now the Garber man. He's Derek Johnson, another interesting situation. He transferred from Bigfoot. He had made 5 appearances and had 2 assists with Bigfoot in 2026. This is just his second match with Junction FC, as he will be up top for West Seattle on the wing. Ida will take the kickoff. West Seattle will attack from right to left on your screen, wearing those all-white kits. Snohomish in the all-reds. We are underway here at Nino Cantu. Your referees, Tyler Lipton, the 4th official, Ross Cohn, and Samuel Pacheco, the 2 assistant referees. Justin St. Pierre will be in the centers. Connor O'Keefe's going to go long. That's a decent ball, and West Seattle's going to get to it. But Keegan Chapko can't do much with it in the end. That'll be out for a goal kick. Looks like Bravo's going to be the furthest center player. Derek Johnson's going to be on the right wing. On the left wing. And on this near side, it almost looks like 2 strikers and a middle 4. I think that's what it's going to end up being, is 2 strikers in a diamond formation, with Taisei Ida just kind of playing that center number 10 role. You surprised by this for West Seattle?
I'm looking right now. Is this a 5-back?
I kind of see what you're seeing. I think this will be a 5-back for West Seattle, so unorthodox. They played a 5-back last year a number of times, but they've been a little bit more traditional so far this season with just a 4-back, because that's towards Leon. He won't get to it. Bravo in the middle. Good turn from him, but he just couldn't find a teammate.
I think ideally for West Seattle, when they're in possession, this will shift into more of a 3-4-3, allowing Johnson, Ida, and Bravo to be that front 3. But when they're out of possession, they're going to rely a lot on Ida's work rate to drop in as maybe more of a 10 and apply pressure to Snohomish when they have the ball in the midfield.
Laffey's going to turn with it. Oh, that's intercepted, and here comes West Seattle. Can they attack on the counter? Towards Bravo. He's in a foot race, and he's not going to get there first, and in the end, it's just going to be Zach Meyer who's just going to shield that out for a throw.
That was well done by McCammon, though. It was not the easiest ball to control from Bravo, but he brought it down and played a good pass down the right-hand side.
They're on the far side. Fight for it between McCammon and Leon. That's going to be brought back for a foul as Jurga bundles over Muteritz.
McCammon and Jurga have their work cut out for them today. The only 2 proper central midfielders in this squad, at least as far as where they're being played, are going to have to be switched on all 90 minutes.
That's down the line. Here's a chance to cross on the far side, straight into Ida. That was straight into Jurga. Chapko, and it's out. Right off the side, so it'll be a throw-in. Quickly in. That's a really good interception. Jurga just under enough pressure, and he's going to bring down the Snohomish player, who's just going to be brought to his feet. That was Edgar Leon, the older brother of Aaron Leon. That's clipped forward. First one won by West Seattle, but they just have a bit of a miscommunication, and McCammon gives it right back. Here's Cooper Brunell. A lot of brothers who plays soccer as well. Cooper Brunell, the older brother of Snyder Brunell in the Seattle Sounders. Brought down. It's going to be headed away by Jack McGuire, and it's going to be brought back for offsides.
So I think an interesting thing to watch as this game progresses is what Snohomish do with their fullbacks. So West Seattle have only one player on each side providing any width. Chapko on the far side, Consa's over on the near side. And defensively, they're going to have their hands full with the wingers for Snohomish, which will leave their fullbacks able to get forward.
Brunel. He goes backwards. Jack Sivit's under some pressure. He'll go back to his center backs. Clip to the near side. That's going to be offsides as Clarence Dolan had made his run a bit early. So West Seattle so far sitting their line pretty far back with that 5 back. The nice thing they do have is that they have the height advantage on what's been so far a Snohomish attack that's relied heavily on the long ball. Pardon me, but on the flip side for West Seattle, they can't break out of their back line so far.
Yeah, and they will have expected to not have a huge portion of the ball in this game. You can tell, setting up with a 5 back, they expect they're going to be doing a lot of defending.
That's forward, Leon to the other. And it's going to be clipped away at the last moment by Connor O'Keefe, so it'll be out for a corner kick on the far side.
That was a crucial tackle and really a lovely ball through by Aaron Leon trying to pick out his brother Edgar.
First corner kick for Snohomish. It'll be an in-swinger, Edgar Leon to take. Plays his soccer at Seattle University. 7 goals, 2 assists on the year. And that's going to be into the hands of Lucas Martin for his first save of the afternoon, but an errant clearance from him gives it right back. Martin wanted to go click. Jurga coming in with the interception. West Seattle can get their numbers for it. It's Chapko trying to get up to Iida, who just wanted to let it run along his feet. I think the light select ball screwed up the dribble there from Connor Laffey. Here's West Seattle once again with Johnson. Jurga calling for it in the middle. He's not going to get to it, though, in front of Edgar Leon, and he's frustrated with his teammates for the errant pass.
And I actually think that pass was intended for Jurga, but Iida stepped in and tried to control it himself.
Wind helping that out for a throw. Meyer. Carter Day. Aimlessly trotting forward, looking around for a pass. West Seattle going to set up their line of confrontation right about midfield. Meyer trying to clip that over the top towards Leon. O'Keefe wins the header. Iida through the back. That's not going to be whistled as a foul. Helps forward. Can Johnson get to it first? He can. Derek Johnson in a foot race. He's going to get to it. Only Meyer to beat. Johnson! 1-0 West Seattle. Johnson into the corner. Did really well to get by Connor Day, and then even better to shield off Meyer. And the Junction on home turf, their first opportunity for their first goal tonight.
What form Derek Johnson is finding himself in. A goal and an assist in the last game against Olympia. A goal here, we'll see it. It's like Mo Salah against David Luiz back in the day. Just beats the defender to it, takes it, and through the legs of the goalkeeper. What a finish.
Exactly what you want from your new striker. 2 goals in 2 games for the marquee man picked up from Bigfoot. And West Seattle are now leading the number 2 team in the league. But remember, we saw this. We saw a similar situation once again. The Junction scored early versus Ballard, the other team that's going to be in representing the Northwest Division in the playoffs. And Ballard clawed their way back in and ended up winning that match 2-1. So no complacency for West Seattle. That's the coaching instructions that we saw head coach Mike Matza giving when that goal went in.
Well, what happened against Ballard, they scored, and then they held very well for the entire first half. They sat back and defended valiantly, but in the second half, well, we'll get back to it.
Get back to it in a moment as here's Brunell through the middle. That's cleared away by West Seattle, but everybody on their own end.
in the second half against Ballard, West Seattle pushed up a bit too much, and Ballard ended up punishing them for it.
High looping ball towards the back post. It'll be over everyone's head, reaching Clarence Dolan. Has that clipped out from him. Bravo helps it along. Taisei Aida, some space to run. Laffy coming to give him pressure. He gets it to Johnson on the near side. And that'll be out of bounds, last off of Snohomish for a West Seattle throw.
Good tackle over there by Gay, immediately on Johnson, right on his first touch. And they'll be aware of what Derek Johnson can do now. It's a tough lesson to learn if you're Snohomish.
Jack McGuire getting a touch. It's a completely different team from the way West Seattle started. I mean, you look at who was announced as Aida. Now can he go forward? Good pass to Yurga. Yurga going goalwards! Oh, wow! West Seattle's everywhere right now. Kirabel Yurga extends the Junction's lead. West Seattle's up 2-0. Side netting from Yurga. Snohomish don't know what's hit them.
They just attack with such blistering pace. You can't keep up with them. We'll see it again here. Get it in the midfield with Aida. That's what he does. He drives it. You draws the defenders. That leaves Yurga wide open, and he does the rest. Man, what a finish into the bottom left-hand corner. But as you say, Snohomish doesn't know what's hit them. Well, we know what's hit them. It's the pace of West Seattle. Aida, Johnson, Bravo, Yurga. They just run at you. It's not what maybe West Seattle are even used to. Their attack often flows through Alex Mejia, meaning they go long into him, he brings it down, he waits for the runners. Now with this setup, they have to run with the ball. They have to take it instead of going long. They have to drive to the midfield, and in fact, they're excelling.
It looked like Snohomish was just going to press the attack right after the West Seattle goal. Instead, it's the Junction that on 2 shots have scored twice. And now on home turf, they can kind of settle things in and slow this game down if they'd like. But I don't even know if they're going to do that. They might be looking for more.
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. I mean, this is exactly how you want the game to go. They don't want to slow the game down. That'll suit Snohomish. But they also won't want to get too greedy. I think they won't want to commit too many players forward. I think the 5-back is working perfectly well. Got 5 players who are willing to sit back and defend, and the rest can interchange and run at the back line.
That's a good ball to find Leon, who's come back from that striker position. He's going to side foot a ball in. O'Keefe gets there first. And a shove through the back from the older brother, Edgar Leon. And Edgar Leon's going to be the first player into the book. The referee seeing that shove as unnecessary and reckless. And Edgar Leon, who's certainly no stranger to the yellow card, gets his 4th of the year.
And I think he's showing a little bit of frustration, as I imagine a lot of Snohomish players are feeling. This certainly isn't the first 12 minutes they drew up when they were driving over here. But I think if you're Snohomish, you have to just, as they say, have the memory of a goldfish. Take the 2 goals on the chin. Be confident in your ability on the ball. You're going to have a lot of the ball. Continue to do what has been working all of this year. Get the ball into Leon.
That's given away by West Seattle. That's a really good move from Dolan. Dolan down the line, into the middle. Chance for Aaron Leon. Goalwards. Big block from McGuire, and he helps it out. Look at Lucas Martin coming over to give his center back a huge shove. That was a goal-saving block, and it's still 2-0.
I mean, incredible from Jack McGuire, because that should have been a goal. What a run down the left-hand side by Dolan. Completely sends Jack Hagley. But McGuire in the right place to block the shot from Leon.
Ensuing corner kick from the near side. High looping ball. And that was always going to be a tough effort from Carter Gay, and he just helps it out for a goal kick.
I think if Snohomish were to make any tactical changes, and I think they may have already, you want to add somebody else in midfield. They're getting ran through every time West Seattle have the ball, and I think it would do them a favor to maybe drop Edgar Leon back a little bit instead of having him sit as a center forward next to Aaron Leon. Have him play more like a 10. allowing the other two Snohomish midfielders to focus a little more on their defensive responsibilities rather than them being the only two center midfielders in a 4-4-2.
Up towards Aaron Leon, trying the heel flick. Nearly worked out to find his brother. Man, they are just such a dangerous combination. Snohomish has scored 34 goals this year. 18 of them have been from a man with Leon on the back of his jersey. Edgar with 7, Aaron with 11. And Connor O'Keefe with the ball. He doesn't care about those statistics. That's knocked away by Richie Conces. Talk about it, the return fixtures, a 3-2 win for Snohomish at Stalker Fields back in early June. Osato Inabulele had both goals for West Seattle. He's not on the 18. And on the flip side, it was the Leon brothers who had all 3 goals for Snohomish. Edgar had 2, Aaron had 1 that day. As that's to Brunel. Clipped into the middle towards Aaron Leon. He's going to get to it. And in the end, it's a tame header. And it's going to be a pretty simple save for Lucas Martin, his second of the evening.
Here come the warning signs, though. That's 2 opportunities that Leon has had inside the 18-yard box. And West Seattle are going to need to tighten the leash on him a little bit, I think, or they're going to get punished.
And Lucas Martin went quick there, and it was quickly given back away. I didn't like that decision from him. Everybody was forward for Snohomish, so it was instantly under pressure the moment he gave the ball to one of his center backs. That's clipped into the middle. Over the head of Edgar Leon. Still a chance now, headed back in. Dolan nods it down. Laffey thought about the first time. Instead, he'll get it to the far side. Sivitz, that's going to be helped away, and it's to a friendly West Seattle player on the clearance. Ida had it caught under his feet, though. Here's a chance now. Sivitz forward. He'll go goalwards. Pardon me, that was Carter Gay. In the end, West Seattle is able to just concede a throw on the near side, but they're just going to try to set things back up again.
And for the moment, the wall is holding. But you can see maybe some cracks being formed.
Meyer. Dolan did really well there. Wanted that ball back to him. Instead, it'll come back into the middle. Uterich just gets it backwards. Zach Meyer. What a season he had for the University of Washington. As that's going to be too far for anybody to get to, and it's out of bounds for a West Seattle throw. And Lucas Martin is down behind the play. Holding his arm. He signals to the training staff. You can see he's not really moving that arm very much. And West Seattle have their backup keeper up. What a loss this would be if the Junction have to make their first change this early on, as Lucas Martin is getting tended to on that right shoulder. And he's going to walk to the bench. Backup keeper for the Junction is Gage Lambert. He's the only other keeper they have, and he's quite young, born in 2008. You can see Lambert getting some training from goalkeeper coach Dorian Lair on the far side. Actually, pardon me, that was the assistant goalkeeper coach. As now Dorian Lair's up. And there comes the change, so it looks like West Seattle's going to have to make a substitution really early. Lucas Martin's night ends after just 17 minutes and change. Gage Lambert will replace him. What do you make of that substitution?
Well, it's unfortunate, and goalkeeper's a pretty rough position to have to swap. The good news is, I think if there is a silver lining, it's that this happened 17 minutes in versus 60 minutes in. Like, at least this will give Lambert an opportunity to grow into the game and warm up a bit. It's really difficult if you're the goalkeeper having to come in with the last half an hour of a game where, the losing team's chasing and really, beating you down. So hopefully Lambert will be able to settle his nerves.
Lambert, who has played for the Sounders Academy 18-year-old, just recently graduated. He's from Snohomish originally, so he's playing against his boyhood team.
Maybe if he scores, he won't celebrate.
Will be with Seattle University in 2026, but this is going to feel like every bit a college national championship to him as he comes on, and now he's going to have to defend here. Dolan down the line, that'll be out for a corner kick.
That's the second time that Chapko has put in a strong tackle. He's looked not completely a fish out of water at right back or right wing back, whatever you want to call it.
No, it's an unusual position for him. Edgar Leon will present an in-swinger. To the middle, that should be Lambert's ball, and it is. So the first time he's called upon is to defend a corner kick, and he does it quite well.
And that's what you want if you're West Seattle and if you're Lambert. Early touches on the ball, but nothing too testing.
Lambert's just going to knock that one all the way to midfield. In the middle. Uteritz gets it back from Laffy.
I actually think this setup suits West Seattle right down to the ground. They have a couple players in midfield who really love to bite and snap things up.
They're trying to attack on the counter here. Marcus Bravo smashes the ball to the near side. That's going to work. Here's Johnson, one of the goal scorers for the Junction. Back to Conces. Johnson once again. Jurga, the other goal scorer. West Seattle comfortable to just keep some possession for the moment. It's a tight pitch. It's hard to keep possession on here, and Jack McGuire is going to loop that towards Chapko. Second ball going to be picked up by Dolan, and he's going to get around his defender, but he can't get past three of them as finally Connor O'Keefe comes away with the key tackle. Bravo wanted to help that along. Zach Meyer saw it all the way through. That's forward. Foot race forward. McCammon gets there first, and he just helps it back to his goalkeeper.
Junction are sitting sometimes even in a 5-5 formation. As crazy as it sounds, they'll have Iida drop into midfield with Jurga and McCammon. But what that means is that as Snohomish try to build it up through their midfield, they have Iida and Jurga, who have such a striking pace that they will, anytime there is a loose touch from someone in midfield in red, they will snap onto it and immediately try to spring the counter through Bravo or Johnson. Like that.
Iida does a good job to get that in, but Bravo gives it right away. Back to Gay. Meyer. Bravo closed off the angle. Gay did a good job helping out Meyer to get that ball forward. Over to Dolan. That's another key challenge. Keegan Chapko has been all over the first touch of Dolan so far today, and the University of Washington winger has just not had much going forward. The 19-year-old from Pullman.
Well, at the beginning of the game, Chapko was ever so slightly higher up, and Dolan was getting in behind him and having opportunities to run at Hagley.
Ensuing corner, first 1-1 by West Seattle. Aaron Leon tried it. Jurga gets there first. He's brought down. Referee says no foul. Jurga wanted it. It's to Gay. Up to Edgar Leon. Meyer looking around, surveying his options. Iida going to come to give some pressure on Carter Gay. Brunel helps it forward. He's been really inverted so far as he's now down the line. Running with Teague McCammon. McGuire through his legs. Into the middle. That one's goalward and in. Clarence Dolan gets one back for Snohomish. And the visitors, who haven't had much in the last 10 minutes, get one right back. Nothing Lambert could do there. Dolan with his second of the year, and it's 2-1.
And when you're up against a team of the quality of Snohomish, you leave players open in the box, and you're likely going to get punished. It almost happened with the Aaron Leon shot that was blocked heroically by McGuire. Well, this time it wasn't blocked. And if you're West Seattle, you're going to be a little disappointed that you allowed a University of Washington winger to have the time to take a first touch, spin, and then shoot all around the penalty spot.
24th minute goal for him. We've had 3 goals in the opening 25. And West Seattle, remember, they just had to make a goalkeeper substitution. How will that play on his mind? Nothing he could have done on that goal, but still, it's not fun to watch a ball go right back into your net just after you've come into the match, as that's going to be brought back for a foul. Johnson brought down. Ensuing free kick. Ida, one of the players standing over it. Richie Conces calls him off. Everybody in the box for West Seattle, and they got the height advantage. Good ball towards the middle. That one goalwards. And it took Jackson Osborne quickly off his line. And he's going to, the assistant referee on the far side is going to say that Osborne took that ball over the end line. So it'll be brought back for a West Seattle corner kick. A good save from him, but he just couldn't keep his momentum from taking him past the end line. And Conces is going to come over from the near side to the far side to take it again.
That was a lovely delivery, that free kick. And set pieces are going to be big for West Seattle. They won't have a lot of the ball, and as you say, they do have a very striking height advantage.
We apologize, you can't see it on your screen now. We'll wait for the huddle cam to fix itself. Richie Conces, good ball towards the middle. O'Keefe, McGuire, just over the bar. O'Keefe didn't get a clean header on it. McGuire only had a moment to react on that flicked header. Got a toe on it, but couldn't do much besides just loop it over the bar.
Just got his foot under it. But it's good that West Seattle won the second ball.
As the drums beat here on Nino Cantu Southwest Athletic Complex. Second to last game for West Seattle. Both of them at home. Reminder, Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoff versus the Portland Bangers. That's going to be brought back for a foul as Jurga clipped Jack Sivitz. Meyer, under the pressure from Bravo, does really well to get around him and find the outside back on the far side. And Sebastian Ranhel, first time we've called his name so far tonight. Leon, look at how far back he is. He's nearly at midfield, playing almost as a 6. And you can see his team just telling him to get forward. He's the number 9. But he just hasn't had much in this game, which is why he's so far back, just trying to get touches on the ball.
Well, maybe he's been watching a bit of Harry Kane at this World Cup and in previous games for England and Bayern. It's not terrible if he can get on the ball, but he doesn't really have runners that are going to make that move around him.
That's a really good ball for Marcus Bravo to find Jurga. Had it kind of caught under his feet and could only get a toe on it and gives it right back. Referee's going to bring that back for a foul, and he's going to bring Jurga over to give him a little bit of talk, as that's his 3rd or 4th foul so far today.
I'm a little bit surprised that Snohomish haven't made more use of their fullbacks. We talk about Ranhel and then Gay on the other side. They just aren't really getting involved. You'd think what they would want to do is have their wingers occupy West Seattle's fullbacks and get Ranhel up and allow him to send crosses into the box.
Chapko goes back. Talk about how he's out of position today in this 5-back. That's a decent ball from Lampert. And in the end, Johnson gets on the second one and tried to help it along. Oh, that's going to be just a bit of a talking to from the referee, as Derek Johnson ended up having to control that with his arm.
Well, the pace of the game at times lends itself to a lot of physicality, which in turn lends itself to the chance of the game getting a bit heated. So the referee will have his work cut out for him.
Justin St. Pierre, the center referee, he's given out 1 yellow card so far. That was to Edgar Leon in the 12th minute. Brian Hell, the newcomer to Snohomish, made 6 appearances with Mid Lakes before switching over. Gay under some pressure. That's a really good step from Connor O'Keefe. All the way back from his center back role, and he got the ball, but the deflection just didn't fall kindly to any one of his teammates. That's going to be offsides in the end. It was Jack Sivitz who made a deep run from the outside back position. All the way over the middle. He loved doing that when he used to play for FC Olympia. It's how he scored a couple of goals right here on this pitch. If you remember that crazy 4-4 draw. 3 players for Snohomish remember that quite well, including Jackson Osborne. He let 4 goals go in, but then made the save of his life in the 95th minute to deny Rico De La Rosa and sink West Seattle's playoff hopes. Chapko doesn't really have options. That's going to be off the back of Laffy. Jurga giving him some pressure, and he's going to win it back. Jurga, with a ton of players around him, gets it back. Kirabel Jurga. Just no real options, and under the pressure, couldn't find Iida on the near side.
They weren't able to get a shot off, but Mike Mata will not be unhappy with that at all.
And that's going to be, exactly what we thought. Jurga saying he didn't touch him. The center referee saying he came in late on Carter Gay. And that's going to be a yellow card, and we've seen Jurga a couple of times so far this season having to be replaced early because he's gotten into the book. And 30 minutes just passed. He'll be the second player on the first for West Seattle who draws yellow.
That's a pretty big booking with what Jurga's doing in this setup, how much he's going to step to the ball and how many tackles he's going to have to make. Being booked just half an hour in is not what he or Mike Mata will want.
And you talk about it, West Seattle really does not have that many other players who can play that true number 8 role and run for 90 minutes like Jurga can. Noah Sato Inabulele, as Bravo's going to bring that down and go forward. Marcus Bravo on the far side just couldn't keep his feet on the turf.
They do have a couple other fullbacks, though. So for how well that Keegan Chapko is playing at right back, or Richard Conses for that matter, I imagine if they decide it's time to bring Jurga off because of that yellow, they'll push one of those guys into midfield and replace them at fullback.
Won by West Seattle. Just launched forward. That was Jack Hagley taking no chances. Gets it all the way to Osborne. Sivitz under some pressure, did really well. One Leon to the other. Is he on sides? Jack McGuire coming in with a key stop. Leon back on the ball. He tries to get it goalwards. Right back to him. Gets it in, though. Here's a chance now for a second, and it's in. It's Edgar Leon. West Seattle talking to the referee. They thought there was an offsides and a handball. It's somewhere in there. But it's the other Leon brother who scores his 8th of the year. Assist is going to be given to Clarence Dolan. And it's back on even terms 32 minutes into this match. It's 2-2.
Ball gets fed through by Snohomish. O'Keefe recovers and puts in a good tackle to stop Aaron Leon, but it just bounces the way of Snohomish. They get it down the left-hand side, and then it bounces their way again. From West Seattle's perspective, it is a bit of an unlucky goal to concede. However, 4 goals in 30 minutes. Junction are right back on track to another one of the high-scoring affairs they've had the last few games.
This is a true Junction FC game as that's smashed forward. Zach Meyer doesn't cleanly clear it, but Carter Gay's just going to grab it on the near side with no pressure. Seattle just going to retreat backwards. Here's another long ball as that's going to be brought back for a foul. Connor O'Keefe really upset at the center referee, Justin St. Pierre. Thought that his shoulder on Aaron Leon was clean. Referee saying it wasn't, and now it's going to be a chance for a free kick in an interesting position. It's reasonably close to the middle, so it's not going to be the easiest cross, but there is a decent crossing opportunity. Too far for a shot, though. Talk about it. Set pieces, set pieces, set pieces. West Seattle's lived and died on it this year.
I imagine he'll look to drop this right in front of Lambert. Just a little bit to the left of that penalty spot. May even use the wind to try and push the ball back a little bit.
Wind going against this ball. It's blowing from right to left. Here's the ball from Sivitz. It's a bouncing one in the middle. Jack McGuire's just going to put a boot through it and get it out of bounds for a throw on the far side.
Sivitz won't be happy with that. It's a lot of build-up for a bit of an anticlimactic free kick. Just didn't get the necessary height on it.
Leon Yurga coming through on him. Carter Gay going to get it back to Osborne. Jackson Osborne will be a senior at Santa Clara this year. What a couple of seasons they've had. That's a bouncing ball through. West Seattle's going to be the first two. Conce's trying to get it to McCammon. He can't. Here's Aaron Leon. Helping it forward. That's going to be offsides in the end as Cooper Burnell made his run early.
It's good shape on the pass, but he made the wrong decision. He should have gone to Dolan on the far side. He was in a much better position, and it would have been an easier pass to make.
O'Keefe to McGuire. No nonsense from him. Osborne's going to see that out, but it's going to go out for a throw-in instead of a goal kick, so he's a little upset at that. Helps along the first one. Was a major part in that second goal. If you're just joining us, West Seattle started it off with two quick goals in the 7th and 10th minute. Clarence Dolan, answered in the 24th. And then it was, Edgar Leon, who finished off a really good move right about the 33rd minute. And that's how we sit on even terms. Sivitz. That's a decent ball in towards Leon. Helped along, not really fully cleared. Burnell gets it into the middle. And Chapko, just under some pressure from the younger Leon's, just going to have to help that out for another throw-in. Yurga coming to give some pressure to Meyer. Remember, he's on a yellow card. Yurga is. Osborne. What a furious last 30 we've had. When these two teams met, it was another 5-goal thriller. That Snohomish won courtesy of a late goal from Edgar Leon. And now Dolan down the line. Gets a move on Chapko. That's going to be straight into the belly of Jack Hagley. And he's instantly looking over at the assistant referee asking why that wasn't offsides. The assistant referee saying Jack McGuire kept Dolan on sides. Leon's corner kick. Decent one in the middle. Headed away by O'Keefe. Help forward. Can Iida get there? Nope, he can't. Carter Gay gets there first and gets around a couple of players. Excuse me, that was Cooper Burnell. And that'll be last off of West Seattle.
I think one thing Mike Mata will discuss with his back line at halftime is their marking. It seems that they've been putting all of their brain power into holding that line. And it's worked in that they've drawn Snohomish offside a decent amount of times. But when it comes to marking inside the box, they've looked a bit slow. There's been plenty of times, and 2 of them resulting in goals, where a Snohomish player has been open in the 18.
Civets trying to fat boy Richie Conces. Conces not very happy about that opportunity. Okay, heads it back to Osborne. He'll get to it just before the end line. Sun's starting to set on this Nino Cantu pitch. 2/3 of the pitch now covered in shade. It's going to be brought back for a foul. Marcus Bravo coming together with Zach Meyer. Meyer just explaining to him why it was a foul. Center referees kept a tight whistle today.
As he kind of needs to in this type of game. If he allows for too many small things to go uncalled, the game will really escalate into something bordering on violence.
There's no such thing as a dead rubber match in the USL 2. Though the playoff picture already decided in the Northwest Division, it'll be Ballard and Snohomish. The order yet to be decided. Snohomish has a game in hand on Ballard. Those two play each other in the last game of the year on Sunday. So if Snohomish can come away with 3 points here, it sets up a all-to-play-for match. Doesn't necessarily decide who hosts. The Northwest playoffs will be hosted at Interbay Stadium. As that's really good from Jurga. Here's a chance for West Seattle. Jurga into the box, into the middle, goalwards. Wow! Can't ask for much better. Kirabel Jurga did all the work. Derek Johnson finished it off. And West Seattle's going to celebrate with their entire bench. And it's Jurga getting the acclaim.
I mean, what do you even say? How does he get out of the corner there? He's got his back to goal with 2 players on him. We'll see it, just barely missed it. He's able to turn, then is patient at the byline, waits for the perfect opportunity to play it across, and Johnson could hardly miss from there, but he's got his second.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful from Kirabel Jurga. And West Seattle get back on top. A 5-goal thriller in the first 45, and we still have 3 minutes and 40 seconds in regulation to go. Clip to the far side. That won't reach Dolan.
Oh.
Leon first time. You don't hate it. I think that's what Kirabel Jurga is saying to Leon.
No, but that's got to be a better decision from Chapko. I think if you're not 100% sure that you're going to be able to head this away, you just flick that wide.
You have to ask some questions about Bigfoot. Why let Derek Johnson go? He hadn't been scoring for Bigfoot in Maple Valley so far, but he has 3 in 2 matches for West Seattle. What a key addition he's been for a team desperately needing a secondary striker. Oh, as that's given away clumsily. Here's a chance now for Johnson once again. He has Jurga running alongside him. Johnson trying to get it back onto his right foot. He'll give it off to Bravo. Bravo to the far side to Yida. And that's, in the end, going to be too far for him to catch up to.
Disappointing, I think, if you're Marcus Bravo, and he will feel over this first half as we're nearing the halftime whistle that maybe in the second half he'll want to get a bit more involved. Hasn't been too involved in the West Seattle counterattack. It's kind of been the Johnson, Jurga, Iida show.
O'Keefe does a good job shielding that ball off, though. It won't go out of bounds. Just a couple of step overs. And then the foul in the end is Aaron Leon. Too much contact from the striker on the Michigan State center back. What a key player O'Keefe has, the local boy. He played out here in West Seattle. He's from here originally, went to high school here. Spent his first year in Altoona, Pennsylvania at St. Francis. You might remember them for the school that made the NCAA playoffs, they made March Madness and then announced that they would be no longer a Division I program. Well, O'Keefe spent a year there and then transferred to Michigan State. That's where he'll be playing come 2026. Yurga chopped down. Chance for another Richie Conce's cross. We have a minute to go in the first 45. We'll see how much extra time. 5 goals and a couple of yellow cards plus the keeper substitution. Conces puts his hand down. Loops another good one in the middle. McGuire nearly got to it. Yurga's there. I just think the ref got in his way. And Yurga instantly turned to the center referee saying, "What were you doing standing right there?"
Yeah,
that's been a tougher battle than anybody in center mid for Yurga today.
And when you're hitting the ball on the volley like that, your timing has to be down to the millisecond. And in that case, when you're getting screened by the ref, like Michael Oliver did to Danny Olmo today, it really puts you off.
Talking about it, this match really screening the Spain match earlier today, as that's going to be in the end always going to be a tough chance for Beckett Uteritz. And he gets it wrong and sends it well over the bar and wide. We've had the referee getting in the way of a player trying to shoot. We've had the keeper substitution. We've had a couple more goals than maybe Spain and Belgium could muster, but overall it's certainly been a mirrored match, shall we say. Headed down. West Seattle's going to get there first. Chapko. Gage Johnson's going to come to give some pressure.
Gage Lambert will be hoping that the parallels end there.
I was just thinking that. That's really good from Cooper Brunell. And here comes Snohomish. Can they get one more attack before the halftime break? Lambert comes straight off of his line. Had to get there first and get a decent punch on it. Under the pressure from Aaron Leon. That's been a good battle today, as you can see Leon fighting just in some hand-to-hand contact away from the referee's eye with Connor O'Keefe. West Seattle trying to break lines right now. Yurga under some pressure. Going to concede it to Brunel. Into Leon. Trying to clip that forward. Dolan gets there. What can Dolan do just outside the box? Gets it back over to Leon. Down the line. Here's a chance for Brunel. Into the middle, and Jack McGuire, another good block.
You got to step to that a bit sooner. Not the cross. That was well dealt with by McGuire, but the pass before that, he had plenty of time to wait for that overlapping run to come.
Into the middle. First one won by Mid-Lakes was Jack Sivitz, but Sivitz just didn't get much enough.
Oh, here we go.
For West Seattle, it's a 3-on-1. Ida goes for the early pass. Osborne's off his line, and he's going to get there before Marcus Bravo, and you just wonder how much the strong wind blowing into Jackson Osborne's face helped him with that ball just tailing back towards the goal enough that Bravo couldn't get there first.
What a missed opportunity. I mean, you don't draw a counterattack up better than that. 3-on-1. And Ida, you think he's just got to be a bit more patient. There's no need to hit that pass so early.
Yurga trying to get it to McCammon. It's going to come back to Ida. He kind of stumbled over the ball for a moment. Conces!
No.
He's scored some brilliant ones versus Snohomish. You look at last year where he scored that awesome goal on the first time from right about that situation. And this time it just came off the end of his foot. Gay loops that one forward. O'Keefe wins the header. And that's going to be the end of a tumultuous first 45 featuring a couple of yellow cards and 5 goals, 3 for West Seattle, 2 for Snohomish. You couldn't ask for much more.
Nope, and this is what we have been getting from the West Seattle Junction as of late. Goals, goals, goals. Mato will be perfectly happy with how that went. 1-goal lead against the second place in the league in Snohomish. There's a couple things to iron out. I mean, as we talked about previously, got to pick up those marks in the box. They can't have opportunities with players sat all by themselves in the 18. But other than that, the system is working perfectly.
System is working quite well indeed. They're up a goal to the second-place team in the league, trying to finish, and their best finish as a USL2 club, and they're 45 minutes away from a big 3-point. back to West Seattle Junction FC versus Snohomish United on NBC Sports Engine play. West Seattle protecting a 3-2 advantage that they regained just before halftime, with Derek Johnson scoring his second in the 41st minute. Let's catch you up on what happened in that crazy first 45. My name's Owen Camaros. By the way, Oscar Lopez alongside me. Second to last game for the Junction and Snohomish both. West Seattle trying to finish with their best finish in team history. That sits its tie at least with 17 points. Snohomish trying to contend for the Northwest Division. They're already into the playoffs. It just comes down to whether they or Ballard will win the division. To catch you up on everything that happened in that first half, Derek Johnson scored in the 7th minute. Kirabel Yurga double Junction's lead in the 10th. And then Clarence Dolan scored in the 24th, Edgar Leon the 33rd to tie things back up at 2 apiece. And then Derek Johnson scored in the 41st. And that's where we sit at 3-2 right now. And quickly long, as here's maybe a chance now for Aaron Leon to stretch his legs. He gets onto it, turns around, has numbers alongside him to his brother Edgar. Edgar Leon gets his second of the evening. That was too easy. West Seattle started slow, and they are punished. And it's 3-3.
I mean, you just have to cover that part of the field. It really is. It really is a bit of the basics. You cannot allow somebody to take a touch and pick up their head right in the D. And West Seattle, as you say, punished for it.
So that goal in the 46th minute evens things up at 3 apiece. We talked about what a crazy first half it was, and the second half has started just the same. There were a number of substitutions. We'll get them for you in a moment. Chapko up the line towards Yurga. Remember, he's on a yellow card. He's on a yellow, so is Edgar Leon, who just scored his 9th goal of the season. That's second on the team. His brother Aaron, who got the assist, has 11. Okay, able to get through a couple of Junction players. Forward to Brunel. Brunel just going to slow things down. That's going to be brought back for a foul and a yellow card as Taisei Iida pulled back Connor Lothy. So he's the second Junction player into the book.
Looks like West Seattle may have switched to a 4-back with I think the only change they made personnel-wise was Carmelo Kasim coming in for Marcus Bravo. They've put Kasim at left back, McGuire and O'Keefe are the center backs. Or are they still at a 5-back with Chapko staying at right back? I guess time will tell. We'll have to see how they set up out of possession.
Ranhel, Lofty. Brunel under some pressure, and he can't keep that ball in bounds. Chapko just going to launch that forward. Yeah, the one substitution for West Seattle. It was the replacement of Marcus Bravo, who just didn't really find the game in that first 45, and Carmelo Kasim replaces him.
And the one tactical change that we definitely are seeing is that Conces has moved out of left back and into midfield, which I think makes sense. If you think about that first 45, Conces did not get on the ball whatsoever, and I think Mike Mata will be thinking we want him in a position where he can make maybe a little bit more of an impact in possession.
Civets. Wanted to see if that took a deflection or not, when he just leaned back on it too much. Conces. Talk about it. He had a really good first half. He was certainly had a tough task of dealing with Dolan and did well, as here's a chance now for West Seattle to go forward. Iida on this near side, ball on his right foot. Just going to kind of back up. Chapko Back to Ida. That's really good interchange, but Jurga can't get it back to Chapko. Look at Edgar Leon with some defensive work.
Well, whether or not Chapko will still be asked to defend in a right back position, it's clear that they have told him to push up a bit more than he did. Whether that's down the line or inverting is TBD, only 4 minutes into this one.
Jurga just didn't catch that clean. This will be out of bounds for a goal kick. These two teams, it's the fourth all-time meeting. Snohomish owns the series record. 2 wins and a loss. The last time they did meet here, though, was West Seattle that came away with the 2-1 victory. That was part of the 4 wins in a row for West Seattle to end their season. After you remember, it was a dismal start to that 2025 season. Winless through 10 matches and then winning the Final Four as Iida's on the ball. Taisei Iida tried to square it, and there was no one there, and that'll be last off of Jurga. Flew in for that block, but just out of bounds for a goal kick.
He really does fly, doesn't he, Kirabel Jurga? So much explosive pace and the intelligence to know when to use it. He's not just constantly sprinting after the ball, though he is pressing the ball here, but certainly not sprinting.
And he's going to force Osborne into a clearance. That's dealt with really well, though, by Leon. Brunel trying to clip it in, and that's just going to be too far for anybody in red to get on. Beckett Uteritz is the one making the run. Dolan. Aaron, pass, Jurga, Chapko, through the legs. Conces just going to settle things down. Here's the first couple of touches for Carmelo Kasim. Jurga tried the back heel, didn't work out. Really good interchange, and now here comes Snohomish once again. Kasim coming to give some pressure on to Cooper Brunel, who just misplayed the pass.
That's something that Kasim provides at left back that maybe Conces doesn't, is that just that power that he runs with. It's a really imposing presence that he has as a defender.
McGuire. Kasim. He does well to get through one player, and that's going to be brought back. Just a foul, says center referee Justin St. Pierre. As it was Jack Sivitz, who has no real complaints on that one. He knew that he came in a little late on Taisei Iida, who had beat him for pace down the line. Look at a player like Jack McGuire. I mean, he has been here since the beginning. He was a starter for West Seattle since their first match at home to Capital FC 2.5 years ago. What a crazy, as that's going to be brought back, I think just for some head contact, no foul, says the referee.
Jurga's got to be careful. On a yellow, he probably shouldn't be talking to the referee so much.
I don't really know what the referee decided there. I think it was called for a foul, but the referee didn't call advantage. Just wanting to make sure as it was a foul that involved some head contact, as we apologize. That sun's going to be abysmal for our next few moments as it sets over our camera.
Sometimes you may just have to take our word for it.
O'Keefe loops that to the back post. Kasim. Iida gets up the loose rebound. He's just going to clip it into the center. Brought down by Johnson. Kasim once again. That's a really good interchange. And Iida just can't get on the back heel from Derek Johnson. The idea was there.
Good play by Kasim.
To the near side now. Rangel gets it forward. That's going to be last off of a Snohomish player. The referee, the fourth official actually helping out the center referees. It was Aaron Leon, who was the last one to touch it. Couple of balls on the pitch, so we'll just replay. 9 minutes gone through the second 45. Already a goal and a yellow card. 3-3 ball game. These have always been testy matches between these teams. Ida down the line. Gets the end line. He crosses it into the middle. That forces Jackson Osborne to just come off of his line and get two strong hands on it. Ooh, McGuire's beaten by Leon. Here's Edgar Leon into the box. No real options, though, so Leon goes himself. And it'll be last off of Connor O'Keefe, who came in with a sliding block. And you can see Jack McGuire pretty happy with Edgar Leon for not having the foresight to play that ball across, and even happier with his center back for that key block.
Well, hopefully he won't try that again, McGuire.
Here's the corner kick. Headed away by Connor O'Keefe. Another corner upcoming, same side. See Lucas Martin below us. His arm in a sling. That right arm that we were talking about. Another corner upcoming. McGuire helps it along. And what's the referee pointing to here?
Has he given a penalty?
Has the referee given a penalty kick? West Seattle is furious right now. What did the center referee see? We thought that was going to be given as a foul as Jack McGuire was brought down. Instead, the center referee points to the spot.
I have no idea. I got nothing. I got nothing here.
No clue what the center referee, Justin St. Pierre, saw right there. He clearly saw something that we couldn't see here. As that's going to be a second yellow card to Kiribel Yurga. And bad to worse for West Seattle. Yurga must have said too much to the center referee, St. Pierre. The assistant referee is going to come over to talk to St. Pierre. You talk about this, you never want the center referee to be the one that decides a match, and I think in this last minute or so, he has absolutely done that. We can't tell you if he got it right or not. We don't know what he saw. We were all shocked up here when he pointed to the spot. Connor O'Keefe, wearing the captain's armband, discussing with the referee what happened. It'll be Edgar Leon who has picked up the ball. Some discussion between him and Gage Lambert, some talking between the two players.
I mean,
going for his hat trick here, by the way.
I'm sorry, but that's so silly from Yurga. I hate to say it, but on a yellow, you just cannot be talking to the referee in a game like this.
Another player has been given a yellow card. It was in the direction of Jack McGuire. The Junction FC crowd furious. We can't really tell you exactly who that yellow was given to. Jack McGuire looked to be the recipient. It also might have gone to Cooper Brunel.
I'm still baffled by this call. What did the referee see to give this?
And the referee has another red card in his hands.
Who's he sending off now?
Possibly the assistant goalkeeper coach.
Who, by the way, was trying to hide behind a cart, I think. He may have known that he said something, and the fourth official may have called the referee over to send him off.
It's the Oprah Winfrey show right now. You get a red card, you get a red card, you get a red card. I think if the center referee could see us perched up in our booth right now, we might be the recipients of a couple of them.
I think there are plenty in the crowd that would go before us. Yeah, maybe the whole crowd.
Justin St. Pierre has heard worse from this Junction crowd.
I mean, he must have heard something bad from Kiribel Yurga.
58 minutes played, nearing 59, nearing that hour mark. West Seattle's down to 10 men, and unless the substitute goalkeeper, Gage Lambert, can come up with a huge save right now, they're going to be down a goal. It's Edgar Leon for his 10th goal of the year from 12 yards away against Gage Lambert. Still a discussion as we see the assistant coach for West Seattle. We'll get you a name in a moment. Walking away. Junction has a player warming up. This has been an exceptionally long stoppage. Remember, this came out of nowhere. It was Akili Kasim who was sent off. Related to Carmelo Kasim. That's going to be a fun car ride home. Center referee still holding play. I think just waiting for the assistant coach to finally exit the pitch. This is one of the longest stoppages I have seen in the USL 2.
Well, it felt as though the referee was in danger of something like this happening. He had a couple of odd stoppages early in this half.
So here comes the ensuing penalty kick after the long stoppage. It's Edgar Leon standing over it. Leon delivers. And Snohomish have their first lead of the ballgame just after the hour mark. It's 4-3. And the Junction down to 10 men, down a goal, down their assistant coach. It's bad to worse to disaster for West Seattle.
I mean, it all fell apart. It all fell apart. Referee gives, from what I saw, a nothing penalty. I think maybe he might be friends with the Snohomish coach. Who knows? But he gives a penalty, and then Jurga can't hold his tongue. It gets himself sent off, and then it just sort of explodes.
Confirmation on that yellow card that was given way before the penalty kick. Remember, this took about 6 minutes to decipher. It was Jack McGuire who was given it. So West Seattle down to 10 men. Kiribel Jurga sent off. He wasn't even the one that committed the foul, at least from our vantage point.
No,
he received a second yellow for some words said to the referee. Now what can West Seattle do?
And I think that was not the first time he had been talking to the referee. He'd been chirping at the guy for the entire second half, and I think that might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. And again, it's just not something you should be doing.
Oh, that's given away, and here comes Aaron Leon. There's 3 players running with Leon, but a good recovery from Carmelo Kasim. And his ensuing block falls straight into the welcoming arms of Gage Lambert. Now, how does West Seattle set up with just 10 players and chasing a goal?
I mean,
McCabe,
I guess we'll find out.
Forward to Iida. Iida smashed.
Only a throw-in.
Only a throw-in, says the center referee. He's going to be not very welcomed back to West Seattle. Connor O'Keefe, who, by the way, after this goal went in, after the penalty, as that's down the line to Iida, good challenge from Rangel, and that'll be last off of West Seattle. After that ensuing penalty, you saw Connor O'Keefe gather everybody around wearing that captain's armband. Tell them no more. We don't talk to the center referee. We don't challenge calls. We don't do anything else. We play our football. We play Junction FC football. That was the message he gave after his team gave up a goal. We've seen miracles concocted here at West Seattle before.
I mean, they really have all of it to do, though.
Talk about all the wacky games that have been played here through 3 years, as we can see. Can't see it on your broadcast. It's to your right. The Junction FC assistant coach walking along the track towards the far side stands.
Well, it looks like Junction, with the player disadvantage, have set up in a 4-3-2 with Johnson and Iida being the two to provide that attacking threat. But no Kiribel Jurga is a huge loss with how he's been playing.
Here's Dolan again. Down the line. Gets a step. He goes goalwards, top corner. Easy as you like from the winger. His second of the afternoon. And Snohomish looking every bit like the team contending for the Northwest Division. It's 5-3, and the visitors have found second wind.
Yeah, bad to worse from West Seattle. It's a bit too easy to get down that left-hand side, and once Dolan finds himself in that position, when you're a winger with a head of steam running at a fullback, you always have the advantage. Does a step over. He didn't even need to do that. All that was required was a drop of the shoulder, and then a very, very nice finish.
Jack Hagley, the player that couldn't stop Clarence Dolan.
I'm not so sure you put the... Not that you were, but I'm not so sure you put the blame on Hagley there. He's at such a disadvantage with someone like Dolan running at him, and he'll be thinking, well, how's he gotten in that position?
Chapko. Kasim. That's going to be brought back for a foul. And down to 10 men, and now down 2 goals. This is the times when matches can get out of hand as far as the off-the-field stuff is concerned. The stuff that happens after a play. You see the center referee just trying to settle the game down a little bit. Johnson down the line. That's going to be whistled for a free kick as he brought down Jack Sivitz.
Sivitz was fully ready for Johnson to try and take him down the lines. Very good defending from Sivitz. And from a Snohomish perspective, they'll be thinking, well, this is our opportunity to cut the goal differential advantage that FC Ballard have.
Player down for Snohomish.
I hope from a Snohomish perspective that he is actually injured and not trying to time waste, because if anything, Snohomish would want to get this going.
That's Carter Gay, who's down center back. Hasn't necessarily been his day. He's let up 3 goals. And a couple of them you could say he could have done better on, but such a key player for Snohomish, and what has been a team that really hasn't given up many goals this year. You look at that goal differential, plus 23, 34 goals for, that's nearly 3 a game. And just 11 allowed, that's under 1 goal allowed per game. But West Seattle, a team that loves to score and loves to get scored on.
Don't sell them anything.
Scored 3 in just the first 45, and yeah, you can see what a big loss this would be for Snohomish in their playoff push as Gay immediately replaced. It's going to be Sebastiano Silvetti and replacing the injured Carter Gay. Brought back for a foul. Seattle down 2 goals, down to 10 men. 14 points so far for the Junction through 12 matches. 31 points through 12 for Snohomish. Top 3 places are already locked up. The order of 1 and 2 still to be determined. And it's looking right now like it'll come down to that last match between Snohomish and Ballard. That'll be played on the 12th at Interbase Stadium. Three changes for Snohomish. It just happened right there. Nico Wiskel and Alexander Sauerbray, the 3 players, alongside, obviously, the injury substitution for Sebastiano Silvetti coming in. Those are the 3 that have just been replaced. The Snohomish, you can understand a comfortable 2-goal lead, trying to get some of their starters off, keep them rested and healthy. You don't want an injury like what apparently just happened to Carter Gay. Loops forward. Ida comes away with that ball. What can he do from this situation just outside the box? Gets it to the near side. Back to Ida. Chance for him to cross. O'Keefe Has it nearly taken away from him. He gets it to Derek Johnson. Johnson clatters off the upright of the football goalpost.
Well, why not? I mean, he's been probably West Seattle's most potent attacker through maybe the last 2 games. Certainly will be flowing with confidence.
West Seattle just made a change of their own, by the way, with Enrique Guerrero replacing Jack McGuire. See McGuire on a yellow card. Don't want to risk him also being sent off, especially with how weak West Seattle is with just no real center back depth. As that's flicked into the middle, here's a chance for the Junction. Just couldn't end up getting it goalwards. I believe that was Rico De La Rosa who came into the match. De La Rosa wins that. That's going to be brought back for a foul as it was Derek Johnson chopped down. West Seattle wanted to go quickly. Instead, they're just going to slow things down.
Bringing on Enrique Guerrero. He'll move over to right back and allow Chapko to push up. And De La Rosa as well, another attacker who came on and scored against Olympia.
For him, that was his first goal for the Junction since week 3 of 2024. That's sent into the center. Punched away. De La Rosa looked decent on the half volley and thought that maybe it was going to catch the retreating Jackson Osborne off of his line. Just couldn't find that top corner.
Just slightly under it, but certainly not a bad choice from De La Rosa.
Sivits. Shirt over his head. He just couldn't control that one. And you can see the embarrassment doing it just in front of the Junction crowd. Sun fully set here at Nino Cantu. Lights are on. Beautiful Friday night. Thank you for spending your Friday evening here from wherever you are on NBC Sports Engine Play. De La Rosa brings it down. Another one of those Bellevue Athletic players that Mike Montez brought over, though he was a bit of a bridge player, having played under head coach Eric Amman. Brought back for a foul, De La Rosa. It was Nico Wiskel, one of a number of Crossfire Premier players that have either returned or continued to play for Snohomish.
Let's see, Taisei Ida checking up on Wiskel, Seattle University teammates.
Wiskel, who did make 11 appearances in a start for Seattle University this year, a goal and an assist in his final season. That's in between 2 players for Snohomish, a West Seattle throw. They're not fully out of this. They have 17 minutes and change, and there should be a
lot of
hell of
change.
change. As that's going to be given a foul and a yellow card, and the referee, who's been extremely liberal with his cards, gives one to Wiskel. That's just his first foul, but center referee saying it was enough to warrant a yellow card. Lampert goes short. O'Keefe just having to loop that forward. Johnson can't get there first. That's going to be just off sides as Aaron Leon came back on sides. It was going to be interesting, though, as Connor O'Keefe was behind the play, but Leon even further behind him. Here's Ida. Just no real options forward for him. West Seattle have spent so much time in their own half that they don't really have options to go forward, but they need a couple of goals. It's going to come from individual efforts. Ida, 5 goals on the year for him. Gets it into Johnson. Johnson saves second one, too high for Ida to get a clean foot on it. Cleared away, but not fully away. Johnson gets it down. McCammon. Knocked out by Silvetti.
What an acquisition Derek Johnson's been. I mean, he hit that so well on the spin. It was a good save down to his right by Osborne.
McCammon, West Seattle starting to build their way back into this match. That's a good ball. Helped into the middle. Ooh, a bit of an errant touch from Teague McCammon, but it falls kindly to his teammate. And Jack Hagley. Ida, let that go. Johnson. Enrique Guerrero fighting for it. Two players surrounding Leon, and that's just going to be smashed away, nearly hitting the camera from Jack Hagley. But another good moment for West Seattle. They're not out of it despite being down a man.
Well, I think it really has to do with how potent Taisei Ida and Derek Johnson are. They're threatening no matter where they are on the ball. And if West Seattle can continue to get them into positive situations where they can show their quality, they could sneak back a goal or two.
Forward from Kasim. Silvetti wins the first header. Laffy. Talk about a player of his quality, just somebody that needs to just dictate this match a little bit. Play fast when the game needs to be played fast, but more so just try to slow this game to a crawl if he can, and he's doing that quite well as he's touched forward. But an errant pass, Kasim knocks it into the crowd. There's a player on the pitch. Excuse me, there was a fan on the pitch. I just don't know if the cameraman on the far side realized that he had traveled over onto the pitch. Osborne whacked forward. Header won by Leon. Not cleared cleanly, though, by West Seattle. Hagley just pops it into the air. Pops the second header into the air. And that's going to be whistled. Nope. Advantage, says the center referee. It's still with Snohomish. And finally, after about 10 seconds, he's going to bring it back. And another cascade of boos to the center referee. Justin St. Pierre has not made himself some friends today.
No, but Higley didn't quite deal with that when the way he should. The second that ball bounced, you knew he was in trouble. There's a reason from age 3 they yell at you, don't let the ball bounce, don't let the ball bounce. If that ball is dropping, if you're Hagley, you have to get your head on that before it reaches the ground.
Good crossing opportunity here. Two players standing over it for Snohomish. It's Nico Wiskel and Jack Sivitz. Wiskel, the left-footed option, Sivitz the right. It'll be Wiskel towards the back post, and that's over everyone's head. Might have hit the cameraman back there.
Right shape on it, just got his foot under it.
Kasim. Backwards to McCammon. Lambert. O'Keefe does really well there. That battle between him and Leon has been fantastic. Sivitz.
Oof.
Good feint. And that's forward from Dolan. Dolan gets it back.
He's been such a threat all night. Clarence Dolan, you can see the quality every time he gets on the ball. Just
one goal coming into this match. He has 2 now so far through 79 minutes. As Sivitz thought that Brunel was making the run, he wasn't. Kasim. Leg lead to his center back partner, O'Keefe. The drum just trying to will West Seattle along. As that's flicked, but there's no real player around for that ball from West Seattle. And here comes Snohomish once again as Laffey takes a tumble, and that's going to be brought back for a foul. Laffey did really well just to slow his body down, and another yellow card, this time to Rico De La Rosa.
This is really well done by Laffey. As you say, slows his body down, tries to incite a little complacency in De La Rosa. Once he gets it, then he turns on the burners again, and it causes a lazy challenge from De La Rosa. And a bit lucky that that wasn't inside the box. Oh, here we go.
Another yellow card, this time given to another one of the West Seattle coaching staff. I couldn't see exactly if that was to head coach Mike Motz or one of the assistants.
I think it was somebody on the bench. It looked like he was pointing past Mike Mata.
Chance for a shooting opportunity if they want it, though it is at a tight angle. Looks like Aaron Leon has called rank. He'll be the one standing over it. And he might get some help from Nico Wiskel if they want to go short. Leon will play the in-swinger. And here it comes, towards the goal and over the bar.
And he can't hit him, though. Just dipped ever so slightly too late.
Lambert comfortable to just let that go out of play. Forward towards Johnson. Does really well to keep it in bounds. And win West Seattle a throw. Jack Sivitz just frustrated. Excuse me, that was Cooper Brunell, who, for all that the attack has been, Cooper Brunell has not really had the game I'm sure he wanted. Sure, 5 goals have been scored, but he hasn't really been involved in any of them.
No, the majority of Snohomish's attack has come through Dolan down the left.
Kasim goes short with the throw. McCammon just can't keep it in bounds. Laffey. Uteritz. Good touch from him to keep his momentum forward, but the pass left something to be desired. McCammon. Chopped down. That's going to be whistled for a foul and a yellow card.
Well, at least the referee's being consistent in how willing he is to book people. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing. It always is for me, just as long as the referee's being consistent and, of course, not, making silly decisions. Whether you want to call a game super tight or super loose does not matter.
Sebastiano Silvetti, the Western Washington University alum, was the one who was given a card. Towards O'Keefe. Over his head. He's in a fight for it. He's shouting at the referee, and we've seen him give penalties for not much, but the referee saying that Connor O'Keefe just was as much involved in the shirt pulling and the hand pulling as the defender, Silvetti, who was the one that was just given a card. O'Keefe throws that armband to the side. I think it had been torn up.
Step.
Good step from West Seattle. Oh, but it's given away by Guerrero. Leon checking back in. Just gets it back to the center backs. Meyer to the near side. Ran hell up the line. Here's Dolan. He loves to run in situations like this. Dolan shielding off his defender in Chapko. To the back post, and that'll be just over the head of Jack Sivitz. O'Keefe under some pressure. Just going to play it along. Good touch from the other center back in Hagley, who's under some immense pressure and just able to win a throw. And he's a little shaken up after that. I think he got stabbed in the back of his heel by Aaron Leon. Can't say that West Seattle hasn't had chances to put this game to bed. They were up 2-0, up 3-2. Fell asleep in the first minute of the second half and gave up a goal, and then two quick ones right after the penalty kick, and then the ensuing second yellow card for dissent to Kirabel Yurga. That's how we sit at 5-3. Thank you very much for spending your Friday evening with us. Owen Camaros, Oscar Lopez.
Well, at least it's never dull.
No, it never is. West Seattle, one more match in just a couple of days versus the Portland Bangers. Snohomish, their final match at Ballard FC. And it's looking right now like they will be on equal footing with Ballard when those two teams play each other at Inner Bay. A win or a draw, we'll see Ballard in as that's into the middle, and O'Keefe just helps it away. And the second one as well. Here's a chance maybe for West Seattle to break. They got numbers forward. Look at O'Keefe making the run. All the way from the center back position. He's the furthest one forward. Johnson to the near side. Back to him now. Into the middle. Doesn't beat the first man. That'll be kept in bounds on the near side by Chapko. Doesn't really have options though. Chance to cross for West Seattle. That's
good
a good
play.
ball in. Derek Johnson just didn't get a clean enough touch on it as it'll be cleared away for a throw.
He runs like a center back, Connor O'Keefe.
McCammon gets it back just inside the box. De La Rosa, can he cross? Decent ball. Straight into the hands of Osborne, though. It was where the ball needed to be played. There was just nobody around in white. That's given away, but De La Rosa could only do so much as just kick it to Osborne. Guerrero couldn't wrap his foot around that ball. It'll be out of bounds for a throw. And so here come some of the final changes for West Seattle. They're going to make 3 of them right now. It'll be Mateo Herrera. He's one of the changes that was just made. Trying to get you the other ones in a moment. Sorry, excuse me, it was Michael Guevara. One of the 3 changes alongside Ernesto Aravalo, 23 years old from Bellevue Athletic. And London Fenster. Those are the final 3 changes for the Junction. Two minutes of regulation to go. West Seattle probably, barring a miracle, going to concede their second loss at home in their 7th of the year to fall to 4-7-2. O'Keefe. Fenster. Helped over by Guevara.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if this result holds, that's a 3rd season for West Seattle. Oh.
Maybe a chance now as there was a scramble for the ball. Ernesto Aravalo saying that he got held up by Zach Meyer. Center referee just wants this game to hit 90. I don't think he's going to give much extra time.
No, he'll want to get on out of here. But, Makes it a third season out of 3 for West Seattle with a losing record, unfortunately.
That red card, just a huge part of what happened in this match. I mean, you talk about the penalty kick and the red card, as there will be 4 minutes of added time. That wasn't even close to the amount of time that was taken off of the clock just by the penalty kick alone. And then minus the 3 goals that were scored. I think if that's announced, the West Seattle crowd might storm the pitch. You can see the shock from below us of the West Seattle crowd. 4 minutes of stoppage time. They know how much time was taken off of this clock. O'Keefe under some pressure up the line. Herrera does well. Guevara turns on it.
It's good play.
Aravalo. Cassine. Centering pass. Can't find anybody. Chapko, he's played every position so far today. Center, mid, winger, outside back, you name it. Into the 2nd minute of stoppage time. That's led long. Into the arms of Osborne.
Oh, boy.
Got a player down for West Seattle, and it's going to be Jack Hagley, and you guessed that it was something on the kick.
Yeah.
That went wrong.
Yeah, I may have pulled something. Just long 90 minutes, and playing that long ball might have tweaked something.
Connor O'Keefe talking to the assistant referee. You can see it on your screen as Hagley's just going to get stretched out. He's explaining exactly what we thought, which was that the penalty kick stoppage took 6 minutes off the clock.
Maybe the assistant is telling Connor O'Keefe exactly what the center referee is thinking, which is, we know, but we want to leave. And we're thinking that you guys won't score.
We've seen arguments with the referee after matches before. Remember on the women's side, the Portland Bangers, when 2 coaches were sent off after full time for arguments started with the center referee about a call that was given, or rather a no penalty kick that was given, with the roadies believing that they should have been awarded a penalty kick and a chance to win the match. West Seattle's going to have plenty of arguments about this center referee. That's just going to be off of Herrera for a throw.
I hope not. I hope it doesn't devolve into something after the game where everybody just takes their turn to have a go at the ref. It's really after the game, like even during the game, you can make the argument that you may get the next call going your way if you complain about the last call, but you gain absolutely nothing after full time by complaining to the referee. It's only just venting your anger, and it's completely unnecessary.
West Seattle are down to 9 players right now, by the way. Can't make a substitution. They've used all 3 windows that they have. So right now, Jack Hagley being off the pitch means it's 11v9 right now.
Look at where O'Keefe is.
And O'Keefe is the furthest player forward for the Junction. And he's going to win them a throw. 30 seconds to go, the minimum 4 allotted. Hagley still being stretched out just under our camera. Fenster. De La Rosa into the middle. Doesn't beat the first man. Brought down by Herrera. Herrera can't find a teammate, though. It's taken away by Brunel. Brunel forward. Aaron Leon has runners alongside him. Aaron Leon, he's found the pass. Is this 6? No, it is not. It was Beckham Uteritz who just couldn't wrap his foot around it to find the top corner.
And that's the pace of Carmelo Kassim, the speed at which he got back. He completely put off Uteritz.
O'Keefe, just a frustration foul for him. Snohomish smartly don't want to get involved. They're just going to tick down the clock for as much as possible. I think O'Keefe is just there's so many things to be frustrated about if you're the Junction in this match. You had the lead. You had the 2-goal advantage, as that will be full-time here at Nino Cantu. It started out a blazing fire. 2 goals in the opening 10 minutes. It ends with a whimper, with West Seattle down 5-3. And that all-important moment of the penalty kick and the red card given to Kiribel Jurga for dissent. You can understand the Junction in no real rush to shake hands with the center referee. They feel they've been wronged. It won't matter, though. Snohomish takes all 3 points and moves level with Ballard at the top of the table on points, just behind on goal differential. And that all-important match in just 2 days' time in Inter Bay at 5 p.m. on Sunday will determine who wins the USL Northwest in 2026.
Well, it's a bit of a disappointing way for the game to be decided, whether you think Junction have been done in by the referee or you think that Jurga made the mistake of talking when he was on a yellow, whether that was a penalty or not. You hate to see the game decided by those types of decisions. However, West Seattle can look at that first half and say, well, we actually set up really well for this game. Our game plan was right. We had these guys figured out. We were getting them on the counterattack. We had good performances. Things happened, and it ended up that we lost by a couple. But I don't think West Seattle should look upon this match too negatively.
It was a match versus the second team. It was a match versus a team that has been the thorn in West Seattle's side for a number of years. This is the 4th time they've played each other, and Snohomish gets the better of the Junction on home turf for the first time in club history. Thank you very much for spending your Friday evening with us. For Owen Camaras, for Oscar Lopez, for Olivia Dubois, for everybody that made this broadcast possible. We thank you very much for watching.